Hey everybody, it's Penny Shelton here of PennyShelton.com, and this is a new episode of Foodie Friday. Today we're going to be making a slow braised cabbage. A little humble head of cabbage. This dish is probably thought of as a side dish for most people, but for someone like me, I consider it to be a main course. It would also be great served next to like some mashed potatoes or mashed cauliflower, maybe some creamy polenta, or if you want to skip the carbs, I think it would be great next to a bed of lentils or some really delicious creamy white beans. Here are the ingredients that you're going to need to make the slow braised cabbage. 1 head of cabbage. If you don't already have a head of green, I would buy purple because purple is even higher in some of the vitamins and antioxidants. But 2 shallots, maybe 4 to 8 cloves of this garlic, some Himalayan salt, some freshly cracked pepper, vegetable broth, put a splash of white wine in it, a little bit of olive oil. I love sherry vinegar. You could absolutely use apple cider vinegar in this. And then a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes, fresh thyme, and then bay leaves. Start by preheating your oven to 350. Cut the cabbage in half and then core it, and then cut it into quarters and then eighths. So you have 8 equal sized wedges. Heat the olive oil in an extra large wide oven proof skillet or pan like this one I have has a lid. You're gonna wanna have a lid on this. Sprinkle about a teaspoon of Himalayan salt and freshly cracked pepper and get that oil nice and hot. I just added some crushed red pepper to the oil. We are going to sear the wedges. We're gonna start there. You'll want to sear these cabbage wedges on both sides. Once they're well seared, you're gonna pull them out and put them on a plate until we're ready to put it into the oven. Once your cabbage is well seared, and I will say that it's most likely going to fall apart just a little bit. The wedges are not going to stay perfectly intact. Just do the best that you can. To the hot oil, we are going to add 2 shallots and 4 or 5 coarsely chopped garlic cloves. And you want to cook this until it's slightly browned and aromatic. We have the shallots and the garlic nice and browned. Deglaze the pan a little bit with 1 cup of broth. This is that homemade veggie stock that I have. If you're using green cabbage, use a 1/2 cup of white wine. And we're gonna reduce this down a little bit, and that's just gonna remove any of the extra cooked little tidbits from the pan. Now, if you're using red cabbage, I would use red wine. Bring this to a simmer, and then I'm going to add about another 1/4 teaspoon of Himalayan salt. Add a couple of bay leaves. I only have fresh thyme, so I'm going to go ahead and cook it just like that and let those fresh thyme leaves, let their essence just release into this broth. We can pull the twigs out later. Turn off the heat and then take the seared cabbage wedges and, to the best of your ability, put them intact into that same pot that you've been cooking in. I turned the heat off and I'm going to bring this back up to simmering. Add just about a tablespoon of either apple cider vinegar or sherry vinegar. Cover it tightly, and we're going to place it into a 350-degree oven for 1.5 hours. While that cabbage is braising, let's make this Gremolata sauce. A lot of you probably have heard of this before. If not, it's really just an Italian herb sauce that really kicks up the flavor. It's typically served over meats, but I love it on roasted vegetables. It's excellent on top of avocado toast. A full bunch of flat-leafed Italian parsley. Curly parsley is fine, but this is my preference. We're gonna add a little bit of Himalayan salt from Trader Joe's, garlic powder. Put in a pinch of red pepper flakes, some crushed black peppercorns, a good drizzle of really nice extra virgin olive oil, the zest of 1 lemon, and then we're also going to use the juice of the lemon. You can do this by hand, or you can use a food processor, which will make it go much quicker. This Gremolata, you all, it's just, well, let's taste it. Put the cabbage in the oven. Make this right away. Whether you're hand chopping it or putting it into the food processor, doesn't matter. And then just let it sit out. Let those flavors come together and really marry, and it's going to become more flavorful while the cabbage is cooking. So once this is done, we're gonna serve the cabbage wedges with this drizzled on the top of it, and it's going to be amazing. Talk about a recipe to brighten your sparkle. So while that's continuing to cook, I'm gonna throw a load of laundry in, I'm gonna go walk the dog, and I'll be back with you to taste the finished product. I just got home from walking the dog, and the house smells so amazing. I can't even tell you. You're gonna have to make this. I know I look a little wind whipped, but look at this. I just took it out of the oven. Let's look at it together. Oh boy, it smells amazing. So you know what we have to do, right? We have to do a taste test. Okay, shall we? I mean, I can already tell you. The smell is enough. Oh, that is a robust, buttery, delicious, hearty, delicate, complex. It is a true delight. This is a recipe that you're most likely going to want to make on a lazy weekend day where you're near home and you can put it together and, you know, have the hour and a half that it takes to braise it in the oven. It's well worth the time spent. It's amazing. So I hope that you'll take the humble head of cabbage and turn it into something magical. Cheers. Oh my God. Incredible.